Good evening and welcome to another in our program TalkSports, where we speak with the movers and shakers in sports, the sportsmen, the sportswomen, the administrators, both past and as well as current. Well, this evening we have a special guest with us, and we are linking up live across, thousands of miles away, I should say. Hamilton, New Zealand, while we're speaking to a son of the soil. He's no stranger to the program. He first appeared on the program in the early stages, sometime in June, I guess it. Yeah, sometime in June, last June. But Andre Fletcher, West Indies wicketkeeper-batsman, he has just completed a 3-match series playing for West Indies against New Zealand, albeit they lost the series. And then the good news start flowing for Andre, because he has been called up with the Melbourne Stars over in Australia to play for the Melbourne Stars in the Big Bash League. Well, we have so much to cover with Andre, so I want to invite Andre to the program and welcome him, although it's Friday afternoon in New Zealand, where he is. I want to say, well, it's good evening across here. Good afternoon to you, Andre.
Hey, good afternoon, Michael.
Okay, and it's congratulations once again. And I know you have been fighting all along, and to maintain your level of competitiveness. When last we spoke, I know you were doing a lot of gym work. There was this level of confidence, Andre, in terms of maintaining your stature and continuing to play international cricket. Let's talk first of all about the series, being among the top scorers for West Indies against New Zealand. How would you summarize the series against New Zealand? That's the T20 series.
Well, it wasn't a series that we would be all happy about, because obviously we lost in that series, but a lot has been learned. As we all saw, the captain who had led us from the front, doing a great job on the field as a batter and as a captain as well. As I said, we were all disappointed, and I know the people back home, they are disappointed as well. But as I said, it's a learning experience. It's not that easy to just come into New Zealand and beat them like that. They know their conditions. They understand the wicket as well, and the wicket is fast. Everyone can see that, and it's just for us to challenge ourselves and to take up that battle whenever that the time comes for us to perform as players. We have to be as consistent as possible. But all in all, it was fairly okay, and hopefully next time we can do better.
Well, talking about consistency, I know that is something you have been striving for quite a while in terms of being consistent. We can start all along with the recent CPL, for example, where you are among the run scorers for the Zooks into the final. But staying with the New Zealand series, Andre, what would you take away from the series in terms of you as a batsman, in terms of you performing on the international scene, in terms of you being called back to represent West Indies T20? And again, it's not your first time in New Zealand. You see, it is probably your third time in New Zealand. So overall, your performance, particularly your performance.
Well, to be honest, Michael, from being away from cricket, well, international cricket, for the last from since 2018. Joining the team and especially playing in New Zealand on their home soil. Sorry, it's tough. I know it was a bit of pressure on me. For staying out that long and coming in. I know, for example, I have to come in and score as much runs as possible because people will be looking. Obviously staying out for so long, people would be looking to ensure that I do well. And as I said, I got stats. I didn't carry on. I tried to play my natural game, try to be as positive as possible. Actually one of the out that really hurt me a lot was the run out in the second game. I would say that game was the game I was actually feeling very, very confident in, and to actually giving away my wicket with that run kind of pegged me back a bit. The third game, well, we know that it was washed out by rain, so I didn't get that third opportunity to actually do what I came to do. But as I said, it's a learning experience. I've been around for a while. I know what it takes to get started, but it's just for me to carry on. And it's for me to go back and work on my game, keep working hard as possible as I always do, and hopefully if I get the opportunity again, I can make it come.
Any pressure on you, Andre? Back in the international full, the maroon colors, as we will say, was there any pressure for you to perform?
Well, I wouldn't say pressure. Well, with regards to the coaching staff and teammates, I've always been welcome. I know Pollard and Coach Simon, they have supported me ever since, and it's just for me to just go there and be positive and do what I do best. But I know maybe from the spectators back home, a lot of people maybe expecting a lot from me, whereas some maybe wasn't well pleased, should I say, with my recall. But it's beyond my control. All I have to do whenever I get that opportunity, do what I need to do and do it at my best.
Okay. And coming out from the CPL itself, and when we spoke to you last, I didn't think we were into the CPL as yet. You were preparing more or less. Let's look at the performance at the Zooks. You were always confident, it appears, that you guys will get there. In fact, I recall when we spoke, you were speaking about winning the championship. Winning the championship for the first time. What went right for the Zooks, you will say, this season?
Well, when we got to Trinidad, as we all know, with the quarantine and everything, and then we got the opportunity to go out and practice. The vibes, the energy that the players had, and starting from the coach and the floor, the way he went about with the preparation and stuff for the team. We all had that goal and that belief that once we get that first win on the board, that we capable enough as a team to go as far as possible. We know as well we haven't been doing well as a team, for the past few years, and we had it in our minds that we always the underdogs, and we are happy playing as underdogs. So it gives us that opportunity to just go out and be positive, just be comfortable, and just play the game as it is, and the result will take care of itself.
And talking about the results itself, it was a surprise to many, you will say, for the Zooks actually making it to the final. And as you will say, I think we had some, some passing words after that. The Zooks gave the tournament away.
Well, well, to be honest, after scoring, I think it was 150 plus. I strongly believe, we had it in the bag. Even down to the 16th over, I think Trinidad wanted 41 from 4. And myself, I was very confident that we will actually win the game. But unfortunately, we had two bad overs, which actually take us away from that title. Trinidad played well. We don't want to take anything away from them. For a team to be winning all the games in a tournament, that's exceptional. So it's good to be actually in the final. As I said, for the past few years, we had no clue of what the final or the top four was like. So for making it in the top four and then reaching thus far in the finals, it would have been a great achievement, for us to win the title. But it's not that we're settling for second place, but we still have to be grateful for how far we reach, and hopefully next CPL we can do even better.
And if I may ask you, Andre, what it is about the shortened form of the game that tend to be attractive, you tend to be attractive to T20 now, also the T10, as we should say. I think you're adding that to your repertoire as well. Why the shorter form? And you're making way, it appears, for others to fill in the limited overs, that's the 1 day, and test the longer version. Is it because of your age that you concentrated more on the shorter form?
Well, I wouldn't say age, because I think 33 is a bit young. But I've always wanted to play the longer version. Never really got the opportunity to do so. My first class career is not that bad, but I've gotten the opportunity to play 8-team cricket, 4 days cricket, that is, and I've done well. But it's just life, and I've gotten the opportunity to play the shorter version, in which I think I'm doing fairly okay in. As you mentioned, T10, I've done well thus far, and hopefully I can continue. I remember telling someone that Chris Gill, that is, he's the king of T20 cricket in the world as a batter. Hopefully I can be the king of T10 cricket in the world before I finish my career.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because it appears, in looking at your averages, I should say, and against New Zealand, we were looking at something today, and it appears that when it comes to New Zealand, there's something about New Zealand that Andre likes. I don't know if the bowlers, because it appears that in most of the other international teams, you have been scoring heavily against New Zealand with a decent average, it appears. Let's look at the conditions in New Zealand as it is now. For the 3 matches, well, let's just say 2, because you were actually 4 not out when the match was abandoned. The third match was abandoned. Is ideal conditions, you think, for a batsman your type?
Well, I love bouncy wicket. To me, the faster the wicket, the better for me. Pace ain't really, put me under any pressure. I'm not worried about how fast a bowler bowls or anything. So I think it kind of plays off in my favor. Yeah, it's more about the conditions and the bounce of the wicket. It's true. You don't have to worry about ball keeping low or getting that awkward bounce or anything. So it's just for you as a batter to, get your technique and your confidence, up and ready for the battle.
Have you seen that that green pitch? There's something about this pitch that we have seen for the test. Have you been able to experience that green pitch?
Well, in the first game, the wicket was green. But we all have the concept that once the wicket is green and hard, it will be fast. But at the same time, it's bat and ball. A bouncer will always be a bouncer. I always say if it's too fast and I can't pull, I'll duck. So I just wait for the bowler to come in my half. I know what I'm capable of, and I back myself to clear the boundary or pierce the field whenever I get the chance to.
It's a long period for you for the next few months playing cricket, international cricket, away from home for well, we'll see until next year, But how do you keep yourself when on these long, and extended tours, as we should say, because you started with the West Indies series. You were hoping probably to return home and then off to UAE for the T10, but then here comes an opportunity, Big Bash. How do you keep yourself? How do you keep your mind focused for these long, drawn-out series?
Well, look, Mike. To be honest, well, I have a few games on my phone, so I try my best to play them as much as possible. If you realize, I kind of fresh, so I am my barber myself. I do it myself, so I try to do as much as I can to to kind of keep myself occupied. Now and then I'll make sure I stay in touch with my loved ones and stuff back home. So it's tough, but it's what I signed up for. I try to keep myself occupied, as I said, and do what I have to do until I return home. It wasn't a planned thing, for me to be staying that long. As you said, I was actually getting up to leave on the 1st, and until I received a call from my agent, William Quinn from England, that Melbourne Stars is keen on signing me, and I was like, bro, if I get the opportunity, I'll try my best to make the best use of it. And he has been putting in the hard work, behind closed doors, and it's good that I get that opportunity. I just hope that I grab it with both hands and make Grenada and West Indies proud.
Well, it's yourself and Puran, I think, Nicholas Puran,
Yeah.
on the Melbourne Stars. I know it's short order for you. Puran himself will be sort of late because I think he's playing in the West Indies 4-day game, right? So you yourself will be going over there. Probably within the next few hours, you traveling over to Australia. What are the preparations like for you to join up with the folks at Melbourne? I think do you have to get the COVID test and all these things?
Well, I did the COVID test today. Trust me, it has been maybe my 20th time doing that test. Honestly, I'm getting a bit fed up of it, but I have to do it. I received a few phone calls from the manager and the captain Glenn Maxwell, that is, welcoming me to the Stars. Can't wait to see them face to face, to join the Melbourne family. I know it will be great fun. Obviously, once the Spiceman is around, there must be fun, off the field, on and off the field. Sorry. So, I'm happy, to be a part of that family, as I said, and I can't wait.
And what so you have been gathering in terms of facts, in terms of information about the Melbourne Stars, so that when you get in there, when you join the family, as we should say, that it will be a big happy family.
Well, I haven't received any insight as yet as to what I should be expecting. So I guess the guys are keeping it as a surprise. Maybe when I get there, I'll see what's popping. But I'm always comfortable and fitting in any environment. So whatsoever comes, I'm ready for it.
I wanted to go back, Andre, on the whole issue of you and because keeping yourself fit. You say at 32, 33, you consider yourself a young man, you know. But I recall in June, you know, you were among the guys with the Ryan and others, whether it's down at the Lassages playing field, getting yourself, you know, ready. What sort of hard work, you know, and I think it's important for you to talk about it, that is necessary, the sort of commitment, the sort of dedication that is necessary for Andre. Yes, we see him as the spice man, the fun man at times, but behind the scenes, it appears that a lot of hard work is, you know, you put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I remember mentioning in the last program that we had, you know, during the quarantine, you know, I've been working with Coach Paul, that's Paul Phillip, you know, with the Trackblazers and well, Ryan and Preston as well. And you know, we've been putting in a lot of work, you know, physically. You know, as we know, Paul is that type of coach that, you know, you can't really fool around in his training. So, you know, we've been, you know, trying our best to stay as fit as possible. You know, strength work, you know, is key. Because, you know, we have to be clearing the boundary as often as possible. You know, I try my best to stay as healthy, you know, eat as much fruits as possible, drink a lot of water. Something I don't like doing much, but you know, I have to. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I've been doing. Try my best to stay as fit as possible, trying to, you know, look as young as I can. I remember telling someone from since under 19 to now, I've been weighing between 184 to 186 pounds. And no matter what I do, it will always remain that way. So I guess my metabolism rate is working perfect, and hopefully it can remain that way until I reach maybe 60, 70.
But on the serious note, Andre, you know, as you said, your eyes are set. Well, your eyes set now on completing a feat comparable to that of Chris Gale, you know, only with T20, more or less. Yeah. But at 32, 33, well, let's say 33, because I know you're into, yeah, your birthday was just about 5 days ago, you know. What in particular, you know, you really hoping that within the next year or two in particular, we say in the year or two because we're not certain about all the, you know, in terms of cricket calendar for 2021 as yet, you know, and it's albeit because of COVID and things like that. So probably within the next month or two, we might be hearing more about, you know, a full schedule for 2021. But what you really hoping to achieve in the very near future as an international cricketer?
Well, you know, we as we know, there is World Cup coming up in 2021. That's T20 World Cup. There's a few series coming up as well, West Indies series before the World Cup. So hopefully, as I said, I can remain on the squad, try to perform as consistent as possible so that I can get the opportunity to play in the World Cup. Other than that, well, that's it for international cricket. There is a T10 coming up in February, I believe. The Super 50, West Indies Super 50 tournament is coming up as well. As you know, there's other leagues around. So hopefully, as you said, the COVID issue kind of cease off a bit, you know, so that we can get the opportunity to play elsewhere. But for now, that's it on my plate.
And for one who has been globetrotting and playing cricket all over the world, as we said, whether it's the CPL, you have played CPL, you have played in, I think it is in St. Lucia, in the professional league. I think it's in St. Lucia. Yeah. Did you play in the St. Vincent League?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Okay. So you have been playing in the region, both St. Lucia and then with the Zouk. Canada, the G10, or the GT20, GT20, Bangladesh, Pakistan, UAE. Now you head into to Australia. What is left for you, Andre? What is left?
Well, you miss out the U.S. Open as well. I played
But
in the
yes,
U.S.
the US
Open.
Open, right? The
Yeah.
US Open, yeah. But the big
Well,
prize. What is the pie in the sky for Andre?
every cricketer right now is dreaming to play in the IPL. It might be agreeable that you know Big Bash now might be the second biggest tournament in the world, and given the opportunity to play now, it actually I would say kind of opening doors for me. Once I do well, majority of the coaches in the IPL, they're from Australia. They will be in the Big Bash as well. So it's an opportunity for me to do well and have my name being called in any of the teams in IPL. And honestly, if that do happen, trust me, I don't know how I'll be able to explain myself, but I'll be super happy. As I said, that's every cricketer's dream. So let's see how it plays out.
Well, I know you're already happy because you as you consider the BBL as at least 1 foot inside of the door. And now you're hoping that that could lead on to some bigger things. Um, uh, just let's hang on for a moment, just to let folks know that we're speaking to Andre Fletcher live from Hamilton in New Zealand, where it's already Friday afternoon, and he is not too long from now getting ready to head over to Australia, Melbourne to be exact, to join with the Melbourne Stars to start the Big Bash League in a few days' time. Andre, it will be, I assume it, off the plane onto the onto the pitch for you in terms of getting yourself acclimatized. I assume with the conditions in New Zealand similar to that in Australia, they are considering you arriving and ready to play.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wouldn't be in quarantine when I get to Australia, so that's good. I'm coming from a green zone. So it's just for me to, get to know the players, go in a few practices and, try to get the ball, coming off the middle of my bat. Maybe, hopefully, when the Big Bash starts, I can be in the first 11. But if not, my support is always there for the team to enjoy each other's success. And, Mikey, to be honest, my biggest thing is to, when I get that opportunity, I don't want to put too many pressure on myself, but, I really want to do well, continue being the Andre Fletcher that I know and see what there is in store for me for the upcoming tournament.
When there are critics out there, Andre, and whether you're doing good or you're doing bad, there will always be critics. You how do you react? How do you react to the critics? Reading, hearing about it. Do they really get to you?
If I say no, I'll be lying, but I try my best to stay away from the social media sometimes. I smile it out at times, sometimes seeing, the people that posting things about me, people that I know, it's not that I know I expect criticisms, constructive criticisms, but sometimes when they bypass, it's not that I'm looking at other people's performances, but sometimes when they bypass other performances and just targeting me, as they say, the small island people, sometimes it gets at me, and there's nothing much I can do. The only thing maybe I can do is try my best to perform as consistent as I can, so that my name wouldn't be called. But sometimes as players, even though you do well, you don't do well, people always have something negative to say. It's life. It's a part of what we signed up for. So it's just that we just have to accept it. And as they say, we are professionals, so we have to act as professionals at times. But sometimes it kind of itches me to say some things and let people know that we are humans, and to others, some things that we are robots. But Mikey, we just have to do what we have to do.
But aren't you inspired by, for some people, they use the critics as a means of inspiration, aren't you?
Yeah, well, as I said, I smile about it. I always go back to the drawing board and ask myself what I could have done differently, and try to improve on my game. So yeah, I take it as a compliment, as much as it is not a compliment for the others saying it. But I try to look at it in a positive way and build on it.
Okay. Well, while we were, you know, chatting, some of the comments were coming in, and I was just putting them up. Yeah, Jason
Yes,
Fletcher, at least.
that's
Yeah,
my brother.
that's your brother, right? And then
Yeah.
there is also Marvin Alexander.
Marvin Marvin
Yeah,
Augustine, my cousin. Yeah.
Marvin Augustine, right? And then there is also yeah, she can't be left out, Sherry.
my big
Yeah,
sister.
yeah, your big sister is there. But there is something, Coach Dennis Williams was
Yeah.
saying, Fletcher, we are very proud of you. The entire Grenadian family is behind you, especially Track Blazers family. And I think you made
Yeah.
mention of Track Blazers earlier in terms of you know, part of the family training with them. Obviously, Coach Paul Phillip is instrumental in assisting the cricketers of St. David. And for once, I want to probably, oh, you wanted to say something about Coach
Well,
Dennis?
no, well, yeah, well, obviously I can't miss out Miss Williams.
No, you can't. You have to.
No, trust me, Miss Williams has been a mentor. From ever since I've been going to St. David Secondary School. And I remember once telling her that I wanted to quit cricket, and she was the one that was behind me, encouraging me. No matter what I've been going through, she will always send me a message or call and find out how things are. So I can't. It would be ungrateful for me to ever or one day say that I don't love Miss Williams or forget about Miss Williams. She's more than a mother to me.
Well, she's a mother to many, as you will see. I think even Hazel and Regis Buckles, who were on a program a few days ago, made mention of that and added a lot of kudos to Denise Williams, who, by the way, will be on our program. I'm just trying to confirm, will be on our program in the very near future. It could be next Thursday. Yeah, Thursday the 10th. She will be on our program. Coach Denise Williams, long awaited. She's not the type of person who likes to be in the spotlight, but sometimes you
That's
have to pull her, you have to drag her into the spotlight because she deserves it. So she will be on our program next Thursday, where she'll be speaking to so many of the people she have impacted on their lives. And by the way, while we're on that, may I let our folks know that coming up on Saturday, we have Mr. Victor Ashby, former school principal, well, of the GBSS in particular, who was also the chair of the Intercall Committee for many, many years. And he'll be speaking specifically on the marriage, sports, and education, the importance of sports within the education system. And Mr. Victor Ashby will be on our program on Saturday from 1 o'clock Eastern time. That's 2 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time. 2 hours with the chief, Mr. Victor Ashby, on our program. That's on Saturday. And then on Thursday, we'll have Coach Dennis Williams. So a lot in store. Obviously, Mr. Victor Ashby was also the secretary of the Grenada Cricket Association. So he'll be talking a lot about cricket as well. Back to you, Andre. So at home, only recently, the president of the Grenada Cricket Association, Mr. Dwayne Gill, who is also director of West Indies cricket, he was saying that he he was wondering whether he should say it, but then he eventually said, I don't think Andre will be upset with me. But he said something there that, a lot of kudos came to you in terms of you giving up your spot with the Volcanoes for another cricketer, to be on the team and get some income. Andre, I'm asking you this question now. Why?
Well, Michael, to my surprise, a few people sent me messages, telling me well done, they're happy, and I was like, wondering what they're talking about. And then someone sent me the link, and then when I listened to it, I was like, I wasn't upset, but I honestly am the type, whenever I do something, I don't like, the public to know about it, especially something like that. But knowing that he mentioned it, that's me, Mikey. A few hours ago, I posted something. One thing that will never change, no matter what, is my smile and my personality. And I came from a very humble background, a Christian background, and I've always wanted good for anyone. And it's not that I in a position where I would say I'm well, people would say I'm financially stable, but I always think that with me making money around the world and other players getting the opportunity to make as well, because cricket, if we be honest, it's a business as well. So I've gotten the opportunity to be contracted by the Volcanoes, and I chose not to. It's not because of me playing in other tournaments, but when I thought of it, I was like, if I get the opportunity to play in other tournaments, I will go and play. But at the same time, why should I be earning money outside and still from the franchise? So I believe it was the best idea to give a younger player the opportunity to be contracted, as well as me not taking away myself from the franchise, because once I get selected, I will play. That is pay for play. But I believe it is better for a younger player to have an income, and as well as be contracted with the franchise and playing and practicing with the guys as a team. I still made myself available after going in practicing with the guys, sharing the little knowledge that I have about the game, and trying to give them the best advice I can give, and I will continue doing that. I have Ryan John and Emmanuel Strout. Sometimes when I saw the post that they made with regards to me on my birthday, it was a bit emotional, because they look up to me a lot. I know a few of the guys in the Winwood team, they look up to me. So I just want to continue being that person I am, continue to give that support, not only in the Winwoods team, but Grenada as a whole. It doesn't have to be in cricket. Wheresoever I can give a helping hand, I will try my best to do so. And I believe whosoever that get the opportunity to be in that position that I do, they try their best not to forget their roots and continue to help sports in Grenada as a whole.
Well, thanks for confirming that you're no longer a young man. Once you start talking about the younger folks, I know you're aging. Thanks for confirming that. But Andre, it's are you one who will explain to the younger cricketers in particular that, there are those who believe that playing cricket, there isn't a future in playing cricket, financially, I should say. You might be one in the Grenada context that probably can put into context, that there is a future in terms of a financial and living a stable, comfortable life playing cricket. What would you tell young cricketers who may be thinking of whether or not staying and playing cricket, whether or not looking probably to basketball or to track and field, and having, bubble in their mind which sport they believe that they can excel in and, you know, be financially viable for them.
Mikey, I remember I remember speaking to a few of the guys. I think Ryan was involved. I remember telling them that if I tell any cricketer right now, or anybody that is aspiring to play cricket, forget cricket, I'll be a hypocrite, because you know, cricket before and cricket now, I will say, is different. And when I say different, as you speak about the financial aspect, yes, cricket pays. It is not as much as basketball and football, but in the Caribbean, you know, it's good enough that we can have a comfortable, you know, lifestyle. It pays well, I believe, and you know, I always encourage the guys, whosoever that is going through a hard time, please don't stop, because yes, the aim is to play for West Indies, play at the international level, but you know, when you look at the Sunil and the Pollard and the Bravo and the other guys, yes, they played for West Indies, but majority of the money earned, sorry, is playing franchise cricket, and that's what the world, the cricketing world is coming to. So I try my best. It's not that I want them to focus on the money aspect, because you must have the love for the game. It's not about you just going out there and playing because, oh, I earning XYZ, but the love for the game has to remain, and you know, once the love remains, obviously your cricket will prevail. So it's just that for them to continue to you know, keep striving towards cricket, who is actually eager of playing. It's not that I want to, you know, disencourage anybody from any other sport, but whatsoever sporting aspect that they choose to take, they at the end of the day, you have to love it. And yes, basketball hasn't been something big in Grenada, I should say. The footballers, they are trying their best, but if we are all honest, cricket has been, you know, cricket has been the top sport in Grenada, I should say, and has been bringing in a lot of income for a lot of the players. So yeah, it's just for us to continue, and at the end, when we finish, we can sit back and relax and enjoy our life.
Andre, I want to continue on such, but may I just interrupt and ask you whether have you been doing any public speaking courses, public speaking sessions, anything to that, you know, of
No,
recent?
honestly, no, I haven't. My agent, I don't know, maybe one day you'll get to meet him or speak to him. He always tries his best to get me to do commentary. I don't know if I'll be able to do it in Australia, but he's trying his best behind closed doors to make sure that I do a few commentary before I leave. He said that I will be a great commentator. He wants me to be like Danny Morrison, who is my favorite. But yeah, maybe after cricket, I may think about it. Politics is something also I love. The reason for that being because I'm a people person, and I always think that I have a lot to offer after cricket, and you know, I really want to, you know, go there in the community and see what I can do for my people, you know, in my constituency. Hopefully, if I get into politics and help Grenada on a whole.
I don't think I can add much when you mention politics, but that's something we can probably talk about privately. But you know, I made that injection there because I noticed when I spoke to you, and I've spoken to Junior Murray, for example, I've spoken to Kirani, I mean, there is something I have noticed of recent with our, I mean, Hazel is obviously in a class of our own. Of our sportsmen and sportswomen that I am seeing when it comes to public speaking, there's this level of, and that's Michael Bascom speaking, there is this level of confidence, this level of, fluency is something that I am impressed with, is something that I'm hoping that more of our sportsmen and sportswomen can probably emulate, because I think it's doing well. I mean, many years ago I was probably worried, but I have confidence now. And I'm seeing something where, I've listened even to young Emmanuel Stewart, when we spoke to Ryan John, for example, and Preston McSween. So I'm asking you that question because I want to know what is being done in the background. I know Roy Lewis is around in terms of West Indies cricket, and probably, I don't know, I've been looking at some of the tapes with the interviews and some of the things that you have been producing, even the little snippet for Melbourne Stars and things like that. I am very impressed, Andre.
Well, Mikey, I remember as playing under 15, Pastor Stevenson warned me. On weekends, he used to make sure that I come up in the church, and he will do interviews with me, and when I answer them, if I make any mistake, he will correct me. So I guess, well, I shouldn't say I guess, well, that is what kind of helped me a lot with my speaking, especially with my interviews and stuff. I try to be as relaxed as possible, try to be as confident as possible, and just answer what has been asked.
Yeah, well, I should have included that aspect of Pastor Stevenson Warm, because I know he has assisted indirectly and directly quite a number of sportsmen and sportswomen. But going back to the that local aspect of the cricket, and you forfeiting the financial returns, I should say, in the hope of getting a younger player to get something out of it. Do you see yourself, Andre, as, well, I don't want to compare as others, but there have been, critiques, and those who have been criticizing some of our senior cricketers, or Caribbean cricketers, West Indies cricketers, I should say, over the years, of turning their back on West Indies in favor of franchise cricket. But I get the impression that once you are called by West Indies, you are ready for duty.
Yeah, for sure. To be honest, well, we all can say that international cricket that actually gave us the exposure for franchise cricket. So if it wasn't for, well, the callback that I got to come to New Zealand, if I had turned it down to go to Sri Lanka, because I've gotten an offer to go to Sri Lanka as well, maybe I wouldn't have got the opportunity to get into the Big Bash, which is the second largest league in cricket history. And so, no matter what, as I said, I will always, be willing and able to represent West Indies once they call me. So it's what everyone is looking forward to. That's our dream. I've gotten the opportunity as a young player at age 20, and now I'm 33. I don't see the reason why I should turn it down, in spite of whatsoever situation that I'm in now.
Well, let's see. Well, yeah. Your sister was saying, well spoken. I know she is softly spoken. She doesn't like to speak, so I could understand why she is saying that you know well spoken indeed. But the last time we met on the program, we were identifying some of these young players, and your concern for ensuring that these players, it seems as if there are more cricketers in Grenada than probably and young cricketers in particular than probably any of the other Windward Islands, and whether or not we'll be able to absorb them into, and maintain their level of interest in the sport, by competitions and, what it is like. You yourself have been calling for some sort of professional league in Grenada. Since then, what has been the latest on that? Are you still making the appeal that you hope that with an international cricket stadium that we probably can have, something where we can have more cricketers playing cricket?
Well, as you know, well, St. Vincent has this T10 tournament that they concluded a few days or months ago. Hopefully, we can have that in Grenada. I think the president that is doing Gill, he's trying his best to ensure that we start maybe a T10 or T20 tournament that would be broadcast throughout the region, so that our players can get exposure, just as the other players. It's not official as yet. I hope Ryan forgives me, but I'm trying my best to get him into the T10 league. I'm hoping that there isn't anything coming up during that time for him. But most likely we would be playing in the same team in Abu Dhabi. So whatsoever that I can do, as I said before, my career is over. Once I can get players, in Grenada and Windwards on a whole to play as much cricket as possible outside of playing for Windwards or West Indies, I'll do just that. Continue to give my support and help them as much as possible.
Well, kudos to you, and I want to congratulate you on that initiative, ensuring that our players, we looked at the number of young players we have, also the abilities, and speaking about abilities, are you concerned about your place on the Grenada team in terms of a wicketkeeper-batsman, the likes of Emmanuel Stewart and others coming up?
Well, Manny already sealed the deal. I'm more of playing as a batter now and maybe mentor. But Manny, he has put in the hard work and he's doing well. He just came from the St. Vincent T10 league and he had done well as well. Ran himself, even K2. To be honest, Mikey, Grenada has a very strong cricket team. When you look at the bowling aspect, the Preston, the same Ryan John, the
Shaman
Lewis. We got even this young upcoming bowler Nick. I don't know if I can't remember his last name, but he's a promising bowler. Don't be surprised you hear about him in the near future. We have even Cyrus, who's a leg spinner, and I know for sure Raul will be very proud of him because he's bowling well, spinning the ball very big, with a lot of variations as well. So Grenada is doing well in the cricketing aspect, and I know when it comes for the Windward Island tournament, the selectors will be busting their brain as to who they will have to select when that time comes around.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because, cricket, while, not much has been said, but we have to say it here and there that in all the sports in Grenada, cricket appears to be the one that has given Grenadians so much to cheer about in terms of achievements. Yes, we know about the Kirani James in track and field, and outside of Kirani James, probably we can, just count on our fingers. But when you look at administratively, as well in terms of cricket, we have Dwayne Gill, not just as the president of the Grenada Cricket Association, he's also on the West Indies as a West Indies board as a director. He's the CEO of the Volcanoes. We have Roy Lewis as the current manager of the West Indies team. We can go on and even on the Windward's level, we have a number of coaches and others who are involved. We have even Junior Murray who's involved to some extent, and then down to the players now, where we have representatives probably at each level to some extent, each level of West Indies cricket, including women's cricket. With Andre Fletcher, you have yourself, we have Preston McSween, we have Sherman Lewis, who's not called up, but on the West Indies team, and then we have the under 19s and the under 15s. I mean, we can just go on and call in and call in and call in. So cricket by itself, I think, has given that. Whether or not cricket has received its fair share, it's something that we can talk about. I don't know if you're willing to say. We have 5 more minutes of the program, so we could talk about different things. Do you believe that cricket has been given its fair share? In Grenada, I'm talking about.
Well, oh boy. I don't know if you're putting me in a spot, but as you mentioned, a few of the guys' names. Also, I just want to say before, the Junior Murray, Devon Smith, this Emerald Lewis, they actually paved the way for us as cricketers. And they're still doing a lot for us. And as Maggie, we've done a lot. Myself, Junior, Raul, Smith, as to say as well, with the support with the government and everything, they've tried their best. We're entitled to concession, that's a vehicle concession and stuff. As per se, maybe where land or anything is concerned, well, I haven't received anything as yet from the government. I say as yet. So hopefully I can. But we just have to continue doing what we're doing. I'll continue being the person that I am, in spite of what the circumstances may be, and hopefully I can get something in the near future.
Okay, I think the name you were looking for, was it the Redhead? Was it? I think Andy Noel is saying Redhead. I think you called the name. And
Nick Redhead. Yeah, that's it.
Nick Redhead. Okay, so that's the name we have to look out for. Is it Nicholas Redhead? That's his correct name.
Nicholas Redhead.
Okay,
trust me, so Mike. If you see him bowl, you will be excited. I can tell you, he swings the ball both ways, and he's a very hardworking player. He puts in the hard work and always willing, to ask questions, and always, willing to improve on his bowling aspect. So whenever he comes around, just remember on that day that I mentioned it.
I will remember. And I called some names earlier, and then one name I forgot. Forgive me for forgetting that name. Camillus Alexander, by the way, is over in Atlanta, Georgia, and is actually the assistant coach, right, of an academy, So, there's so many cricketers, and current and former, who are doing a lot, and making waves. Some of them we don't even know about, but they're doing quite a lot. I'm not taking away anything from basketball or football or track and field, but I think cricket has, given its fair share in terms of contribution.
I had a Zoom call with Camillus during the quarantine as well. He had asked me to do a Zoom call with his academy, and it was good, me sharing my experience as a cricketer to the youths, and getting their feedback and how excited they were. It was an honor for me to do just that. So I just want Camillus to continue doing what he's doing, and continue to be that person that he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really want to I want to thank you, Andre, for being with us for the hour. Sorry for taking away that time for your afternoon, your Friday afternoon, I should say, in New Zealand. And I want to wish you all the best as you head over to the Big Bash in Melbourne. I know lots of folks have good memories of Melbourne. We do have memories of Australia. Those of us who have visited Australia, Melbourne to be exact, well, Melbourne and
So it's my
Sydney.
first time.
Oh, your first time to Melbourne. You will enjoy it. You know, Melbourne and Sydney is also a good place. You know, despite the distance, you know. But yeah, I want to wish you all the best, Andre, and we'll be cheering for you. We'll be. I think most Grenadians now will be cricket fans. Those who are cricket fans will now be fans of the Melbourne Stars, you know, at least to follow you, you know, that'll be good, you know. Tell the Melbourne Stars that they have added probably 100,000 fans now, you know, 100,000 or more. But I thank you very much, Andre, for being on the program. And any final word from you?
Well, I just want the people back home to continue to support me. You know, continue to have that confidence in me. I will continue to try my best to do as well as possible. Continue to, you know, keep the flag flying, representing 473. You know, everywhere I go, I always keep the name Spiceman. Whenever people ask, you know, I'm from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean. That's Grenada. So I will continue to keep that flag flying as high as possible until God say when.
Okay, then, what's a way to end it? Thank you very much. I appreciate your appearance on the program this afternoon in your neck of the woods. Thank you very much, Andre.
Okay, Mike, you're welcome.
Okay, then, thank you. There, folks, that's Andre Fletcher live from Hamilton in New Zealand speaking to us. And folks, that was really a very good interview with Andre. I haven't heard Andre as fluent as that before. I'm sorry for putting that piece to the end, but that was very impressive of Andre. I am certain that folks will agree that it was probably the best they have heard of Andre in a very, very long time. Thank you very much, Sherry. Thank you to Marvin and all the others, Coach Dennis Williams and all the others who have been part of the program. And don't forget that coming up on Saturday, join us for the Saturday Sports Special with Mr. Victor Ashby from 1 o'clock. That's Eastern time. That's US Eastern time. That's 2 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, if you're in Grenada in particular, where Mr. Victor Ashby will be speaking with us. Mr. Victor Ashby, a former principal of the Grenada Boys Secondary School, the Westmoreland Secondary School as well. And he was also a former chairman of the Secondary School Games Principals Association, the Games Teachers, Games, whatever it is, Association. But they were particularly responsible for the running of Intercall, and he has been in charge of that for many, many years. We'll be speaking to Mr. Ashby about the Intercall over the years, when he was chair, the importance of sports in the school system, you know, across the board, and many other things. We'll be talking to Mr. Ashby. He was also a former secretary of the Grenada Cricket Association, staying in sports. I know he's also involved in steel pan, and he's also involved in, I think it's nutmeg or cocoa. Mr. Ashby is all around, you know. But Mr. Victor Ashby will be joining us. And then next Thursday, Coach Denise Williams will be our guest, her first time on the program, and she will be speaking to us particularly about track and field, Track Blazers Club in particular, which is a very outstanding club in Grenada. But Coach Dennis Williams has been responsible for a number of athletes over the years as a mentor as well as a coach, the likes of Hazel and Regis Buckels, Kishara George, even Sherry Fletcher, just name it. She has inspired, she has mentored, she has coached them over the years, and she will be on our program to speak as well. So once again, thank you very much all. Thank you to you, Coach Dennis. Right. Thank you very much. And we hope to link up with you come on Thursday. Once again, I want to thank you all for viewing, and don't forget to join us on Saturday for TalkSports from 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the Caribbean time for another program where I'll be joined by former school principal, Mr. Victor Ashby, where we'll be discussing the importance of sports in the school system. Until then, stay positive, test negative.